So Finn Balor will be taking on Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Championship on Friday Night SmackDown this week. The match is going to be not a rematch, but another match in between these two. And these two have had a match back in 2016 in a qualifying match for the Universal title match that crowned the inaugural Universal Champion. Finn Balor ended up winning that very cleanly. He ended up becoming the first Universal Champion. These two were supposed to have a match back at SummerSlam, but instead we had that weird thing where John Cena signed the contract and he became the number one contender, and then it was very confusing, and Finn just kind of looked weak because he let John have it, and it kind of made him look like a dummy. But nevertheless, these two will clash Friday Night SmackDown for the Universal title. And a lot of people are asking, is there a chance that Finn Balor wins the Universal title on SmackDown this week? And I have a very clear answer for you, and that answer is absolutely not. There is no way, and I take no pride in saying this, there is no way, however, Finn Balor wins the Universal title on SmackDown, and that is just because WWE are not going to take the belt off of Roman Reigns, at least not at this time. And I can see possibly in the future this happening, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. But I think this is not a big enough build for that. There's not enough storyline reasons for that. I just don't see it happening. And I kind of take it more as the way that this has been built up. It's been built up all wrong if that's the case, and that's why it's not happening. But so kind of going back to that other question, though, is this the best way of going about this? Should Roman versus Balor probably be a bigger match than just, a throwaway main event on Friday Night SmackDown that's probably going to end in a schmoz, end in some sort of weird finish, and then lead to a match between these two at Extreme Rules where no one really expects Roman to lose? Like, I mean, it is... Like, I just gave you the whole spoiler alert right there. It's not the best way of going about this match, because I think that these two have they have enough of a history where you can, and especially involving the Universal title, where you can go back to that and you can reference that, and that can just be the point of the entire feud. That can be the point of the entire feud. But I don't trust WWE to actually implement that and execute that as well, so we're left with this. This is probably going to be an amazing match. I would much rather have seen Finn Balor have to claw and fight his way for a Universal title match with Roman Reigns, and then having him be the guy who ends up beating Roman Reigns, kind of going full circle, because Finn Balor, again, was the first Universal Champion. They put a rocket ship on this guy and flew him to the moon at SummerSlam 2016, and then he hurt his arm in the middle of the match, and he still finished the match, and it was a great match, and he became the first ever Universal Champion. And he beat Roman Reigns on the way to that. You could have so many great promos where Finn's like, you never beat me for that title. You never beat me for that title. I did beat you. You can reference that. And then Roman can say, well, I'm the head of the table and the big dog, and I am the Universal Champion. I am the Universal Champion. Like, there's things you can do with this. And I think they're much better than I just laid out right there. But you get my point. So a throwaway match on SmackDown is not the way I would go about this. I would build this up for a pay-per-view at least. But the fact that they're doing it right now indicates to me that Finn Balor as Universal Champion is not in the cards, is probably not ever at this point, because, look, Finn Balor, no disrespect to him, he's getting up there. He's I believe, 41 years old now. So by the way, looks amazing, looks better. I'm 24 and looks better than me right now. So there you go. But I do think that Roman Reigns and Finn Balor could be like an amazing feud, and they could build this up for months and months, and maybe they will, and maybe we just need to be along for the ride, because God knows SmackDown has been much better at building some sort of long-term booking than Raw has. However, I don't see it, and unfortunately, I think Roman Reigns and Finn Balor is just going to be another conquest, another notch in Roman Reigns' belt on his way to his eventual conqueror, which is probably going to be Brock Lesnar. And then they're going to have that whole thing where Paul Heyman turns on Roman Reigns and aligns back with Brock Lesnar, and then Roman's going to have to turn face. And finally at WrestleMania, was it going to be 38? At WrestleMania 38, Roman's going to be in the main event, the victorious face Roman Reigns, getting cheered by everyone, conquering the streak-conquering Brock Lesnar. 8 years later, that WrestleMania 30 win over The Undertaker finally gets paid off, and Roman finally beats Brock Lesnar. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.